Shinigami Tsuchikage here. So, Dash Pass is amongst us, boys, and with the advent of the Dash Pass, I thought now would be the best time for us to go over some units that new players and returning players should probably prioritize, especially now with the introduction of the Max Hero Selectors. So, we're going to go ahead and pull up the wonderful tier list here, and then we're going to go over it line by line just so that everyone has a general idea on the type of units and things that we're going to want to prioritize throughout this video. Now, always remember, this is a game that you play for fun. If a unit on this list that you like or you want isn't rated highly, then go, whoa, wait, meta purist, calm down. It's a video game. We're here to have fun. All right? So, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the video. Alrighty, so with the format of this video, it's just going to be a quick rapid fire pew 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 so that we can just go over which units that I feel you should pick with your max selectors on the first go around and other units subsequent down the line. So first in the S tier, pick if you don't have Celine. Now, when I say pick if you don't have, even if you have Celine, if she's not maxed, get a max Celine. She's a fantastic unit that counters non-attack skills. She's a high single target DPS, and she has 3 very good EEs that you can utilize for your benefit in RTA and Arena and Guild Wars. The next unit on this list will be the great one, Sir Step on Them himself, Mort. With Mort, he's basically supplanted an ML5 in her role, which is Astromancer Elena, since he basically tells everyone, I exist, I'm the only one that can counter. With him being a high damage, high health DPS, he's perfect in any type of play style. You can use him as your anchor in Cleave, you can use him in turn 2 standard. He's just a fantastic unit. Especially when he's paired with young Senya, he becomes an absolute terror in Arena. Fene, the queen, well, the newest queen of PvE. I don't think anyone is ever going to dethrone this unit. She's just spectacular in multiple forms of content. From Nightmare Raid, RIP, to all hunts, basically nearly every expo, this unit, even on a set that doesn't even give her damage or any type of set bonus, she stomps. If you don't have Fene, I'd advise you getting Fene immediately. And with the new Trials of the Constellation event, she can solo Magnar. If you did not know that, now you know. Politis, same as Celine, where you essentially want to counter anyone that's using non-attack skills, but she also has the added effect that she cuts enemy CR gain by 50%. So this unit is very good in multiple different styles of play. Standard, aggro, counter, cleave. The unit has so many different build varieties from degen to cleave, so super fast. It's just beautiful. You can put on protection set, run on high effectiveness, high ER. With a unit this versatile, you would be remiss from picking. And last but not least, our boy, our captain, our prince, Janua. When Janua entered the game, he destroyed the meta with his ability to defense pen, especially with a whole bunch of units that were high HP. But now, with everything tampering down with the introduction of Imperial Ilanav and Dien's recent rework, he has lost some value, but he is still a top tier DPS for multiple different needs. So we're going to move on to the A tier, which is at least you have the top tier. Destina primarily is here because of her wonderful interactions with Argent Wave's Hua Young, and with her just being a pretty solid healer, you couldn't go wrong with having a max Destina. It's better than having to waste molas trying to increase her healing chance. And since majority of her kit is just raw healing, you want to max for S2 and S3. Crow. What can I say about this man? He's a very good option as a mitigation tank if all others are gone. So if ML is taken, let's say FCC is taken or banned, Crowd can offer you a lot of protection as well as decent damage as long as there's no injury on the enemy team. Elegos. Who here hates Pirate Captain? Oh, sorry, not Pirate Captain. Woo. PTSD from that rework. We're just not going to talk about that because of the community. Anyway. Elegos. He's here for one thing and one thing only. You have focus. You have fighting spirit. I take that away from you. Everyone's favorite android or atomic doll, whatever they are called, Afternoon Soak Flan, he deals with her so well, and he's used in so many pieces of aggro content that I would feel bad as someone who has adopted the lifestyle of aggro to not place him in this list. And last but not least, we have Fire Aramintha. Now, a lot of people are going to look at me weird and say, why are you putting Fire Aramintha so high? This unit's not that good. Her time in the sun is past. With how tanky the meta is, and with how slow a lot of people that are running these tanky units, Aramintha slaughters them. From the burns, to the stuns, to the unhealable, the CR pushing. This unit is so good. Now, you know what, just to be fair, I'll put Aramintha in the B tier. You're not going to see that, but Aramintha is in the B tier. I'll make a note. I'll put her in high B. I'll probably put her between Arya and Violet. So, now that we've gotten the full explanations of what I recommend that you pick, we're just going to go rapid fire through the next tiers just for brevity's sake. Holiday Euphine is a pretty good unit for countering teams that want to CR manipulate you. So if they have a lot of units that are CR pushback, she's able to counteract that. And with her increased evasion, with her requirement going from full HP to 50%, running her with teams that have barriers and buff stacking can use her as a reliable counter to Fire Litica. Holiday Euphine, she's just a poor man's Jacko. If you don't have Jacko and you want to cleave and you use a lot of debuffs on the first turn, Euphine is your girl. Zahak. Oh, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but with the with the heavy usage of Dark Aiden, especially in hard steady comps, Zahak becomes very invaluable. And if you're running a lot of AoE and someone slams Aiden, a Zahak on Symbol of Unity can really nuke her. So if you don't have a Zahak built, this may be your chance. Next, we have Arya. Arya's here essentially because she's just a good ice DPS, honestly. She can be utilized to counteract a lot of the fire units that are running rampant in the meta. Ice has lost its mojo. I want to say about a year and a half ago, Ice was the premier meta, especially with Ice Lua, but now it's kind of fallen off, giving way to the fire and grass, which is good. We want to accept that, but Arya still has a nice place in Guild Wars for sure, especially against teams that utilize Renak and Arunca. But also, there is a one-shot guide out there for Arya for Wyvern, especially with the Dash event. If you need to get some speed, or you just need Wyvern mats to reforge some gear, maybe you slap on a plus 15 Arya, you save your other one for RTA, and you use this one, fly. Violet, it's just a good unit when they draft a lot of ice units, but not really that prevalent in this meta. He is fantastic in Lunatic mode, so we have to keep that in mind. Charles is just Charles with his recent buffs. He's an okay unit. He's very hard to build, and I wouldn't advise anyone chucking Molas into him. So if you have all the units in the first two tiers, every unit before him, pick Charles. What's the worst that can happen? Alensi is just a warm body to pair with young Senya in lore and in game, which is hilarious. But you can run her Destro, you can run her max triple HP set, you can run her on injury set just to bolster her injury capabilities, especially if she's unbuffable, so her Mind's Eye doesn't activate. Rowana, there are counters in the meta, dual attacks, extra attacks. She's just a pretty solid Soul Weaver when it comes to those specific comps where you just want to keep your team alive and give them a little push. Ice Tywin, if it wasn't for Trials of the Constellation, even though it can be soloed by Fene, this unit would be in the dumps. However, with game modes like Ancient Inheritance, if you're running on the Ice team, he's a very usable knight, especially when Prongo stuns your backline unit. Ice Elena, good counter cleave unit, good against Harseti in certain matchups, especially if you're running Hand Guy. But outside of that, she's just a Soul Weaver that cleanses and gives you invulnerability. Haste Sama, the king. The king of DPS. Haste can be used in a variety of different contents, and since he's one of the more usable fire units when it comes to PvE, over, I would say, probably Bomb Model Kana and Ball and Sazan, that is fantastic. Kana's value kind of dips with us losing Nightmare Raid. No point in fighting Vera anymore, so Kana kind of drops down the list, even though we all kind of get her for free. That's fine anyway. Next, we have Fire Ravi, still a solid fire DPS. You can run her on counter. If there's Mort in the game, which is really prevalent in the meta right now, you can run her on Destro set with a dual attacker and watch her go Sky. But outside of that, I wouldn't necessarily say dump everything into Ravi, but you never know. Units like this, where they have guaranteed crit and they're a bruiser, they tend to come in and out of the meta. Bihu, the king, the Fox General himself, or what we like to call him, Mr. Kev Strife. Shameless plug there. Bihu, fantastic unit for going against Spirit Eye Celine or units that fuck off of crits. He's decently fast, but I wouldn't say that he's a top tier option. He's more of a 4-5 pick, but when you compare him to the other units available on this list, he smells like roses, doesn't he? And next we have Ball and Sazan. Honestly, the only places that you would generally use this unit would be in Nightmare Raid for certain specific teams, but with Raid going away, who cares? And with the current Expedition, he's pretty decent. I feel like getting him max Selector for, I want to say, returning players would be more beneficial, seeing how you don't necessarily want to throw Molas into your current Ball and Sazan. Here's an option to get a very decent DPS that applies debuffs and has AoE, so he essentially works perfectly in Grass Expo. Now, Vivian Bologna, these two units are a pair. If you have not, been playing Epic 7 for a while, there's a fantastic farming team with these two units that can clear any content by themselves. So you can friendship farm two units in Adventure, specifically episode 10, plans gone awry, but essentially any episode in, the main storyline, you can farm with these two units, and it's very clean, it's very fast. There is a Tristan Wolf video on this content. I'll probably link that in the description of this video just to direct you over to them, just so that you can have an idea. And also for the Arya, I will also link the one-shot video as well. Next, we have Schneel, pretty decent DDR counter, and I feel that with, oh god, that is the only option, that is the only thing that makes Schneel good, because Witch of the Mirror Tenebria puts block on everyone. So Schneel would be at the lower end of this list. And then the last two, again, just like Bologna and Vivian, they're a pair. Fenris and Immortal Wukong. These two units are wonderful Ice Expo DPSs, and that's it. That's it. If you don't want to put Molas into Fenris, there you go. Congratulations. Happy for you. Now the next tier is C is for Cleavers, and we all know why. Renac, fastest unit in the game currently. Same base speed as Rand, so go off, go crazy, go stupid. Vildred, speed imprint. Cavil's kind of falling off, especially since AoE cleave is falling off, but he's still a viable option for anyone out there that wants to dip their toes into cleaving. Kisei, same thing as Cavil, kind of fell off, but still an option that you can use for cleave, especially if you don't have many of the premier Moonlight options such as Taeyu and Ludwig. Flan, another thing, kind of fell off, but when cleave is good, all of these units in this tier are good. So if you don't have any of these units, if you want to try cleaving, if you have the speed, you would suffice with majority of the units in this tier, especially with Rand and Payra. They're interchangeable, honestly. Two units that have extra turns, they both have a non-attack, they both have AoE, they both have a S1 that's single target. They're the same unit, honestly. Payer just gives you more survivability. Rand just gives you immunity. That's about it. Says pretty good DPS when you're running in teams that are performing a lot of burst damage, either AoE or single target. He has decent cleanup ability, and if you're running against a team that has evasion units, with his S3, if you soul burn it, or if you just have enough damage, you know, if you're just gear score kingdom, you kill one unit, you pop all the others, Bob's your uncle, you win, go next. Edda, primarily just paired with ML Luna as a budget option if you don't have Eternal Wanderer Ludwig, but not the best, not the worst, she's alright. Taeyu, I'm only putting Taeyu here because I've seen this man do some freaky things. I'm just gonna put that out there. If you've never seen a Taeyu, if you ever can catch an Izuko stream, ask him, hey, can I see your Taeyu? And then you'll understand. Litica, Fire Litica, the new Flitica, I should say. She's an absolute terror in the meta with the bind, the restrict, the defense break on the S3 with the pushback skill null for the entire team, and with the way that bleeds are so strong currently in the meta. It's insane. I feel like Fire Litica would be one of the top picks for you, especially in this current meta. If we were going for reorganizing the Cleave tier list, it would probably be Renak and Litica. And what we'll do is at the end of the video, I'll have an updated screenshot of this tier list, just so that you can just have a quick overview of what exactly I was talking about and the changes that were actually made. Now, D is for don't for multitudes of reasons. None of these units are good, or you get them for free. Lilibit, don't bother. Ludwig, don't bother. Balin, he's only used for Trials of the Constellation, so don't bother. Yoha, too much injury in the meta, don't bother. Sharoon, hard to use currently in the meta, don't bother. Senya, difficult to use in the meta. Command Model Leica, there's other things that are faster and does her job better. Isaria's PvE unit, you probably should have gotten her depending on the guide that you're following. Fire Illinab, don't bother. Green Ray, he's useful in Trials of the Constellation and was one of an okay pick for Nightmare Raid, but that's going away, so don't bother. Grieg, you get for free, don't bother. Sigrid, you get for free, don't bother. Yuna, you get for free, don't bother. Chloe, don't even bother. She's a poor man's Sigrid when it comes for Wyvern hunts. Now, she is used in other one-shots, yes, but I would say that if you have all the units in S, A, and B, then it wouldn't hurt for you to maybe plus 15 one of the units that's in the D tier. And then if you already have a unit on your account that, let's say you have some MOLA investment, or you just max them for the friendship, you can just slam them into that unit. It's fine. It is what it is. You're getting an input. Shu, don't bother. Only really use the Nightmare Raid and Fire Expo. Zeno, you get him in Holo Trials. Well, I wouldn't advise you get him in Holo Trials, but he's free from Holo Trials. Lilius, don't bother. Her time in the sun has passed, and her PvE usage has fallen exponentially with the changes made to her kit, so don't even bother with that. Ken, don't bother. He's only really used for Golem and Ancient Inheritance, but at that point you don't really need a plus 15 Ken because AI makes him plus 15 anyway. Kayron, he gets replaced by a 3-star. Sermia's a free unit. Charlotte, don't bother. She's okay in Rift if you're going to do the 2-man, but since you're a new or returning player, you're probably not at Rift yet, so she can stay. She can just stay where she is. Kana, we all get her for free, so don't bother. Tamarin, you get her for free, don't bother. Basar, he's too slow to be utilized in any PvP content, and his kit is just old and outdated, don't bother. Now, we're getting to the juicy tier. Waifu over meta. If you like any of these units in the waifu tier list, by all means, go for it. Honestly, some of the units in the don't bother tier list, we can move them down to waifu, like maybe Lilius, but yeah, it's fine. So, in waifu tiers, we have Green Mui, Green Arunca, Bergita. There we go. I don't know why I always try to pronounce her name as Bergrita. Then we have Fumir, Lua, Lulica, Elvira, Nakwal, Tenebria, Cecilia, Hua Young, Melissa, Abigail. All of these units are waifu. Some of these units are usable as 4 or 5 picks during RTA, primarily Nakwal, Elvira, Abigail. But everything else is just, if you like the unit, go for it. And the bottom tier, F is for FOMO. If you didn't play around these times to get these units, ripperoni pepperoni. You're gonna have to catch some of them later, but I will be making a limited selector tier list for you guys. That'll be coming probably in the next couple of hours after this video has been uploaded, just so that you can have that available for your viewing pleasure. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you could, leave a like and a comment if I'm off base on this tier list. If you have any suggestions that you would like to provide to new players, you can also drop that and sound off in the comment section down below. And I appreciate you all. If I could get a subscribe and follow me on twitch.tv/SuchiKage. Anyway, boys, have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week. Enjoy the Dash Pass event, and happy farming. See ya.